Good morning, everyone. While we're waiting for others to get in and get settled, now's a good time to grab anything you need to get comfortable. Maybe it's a glass of water, a hot cup of tea or coffee. Might even be a blankie or a cozy sweater. Also, if you have items at home with us, relatives, and you'd like to smudge with us, now's a good time to grab those items as we begin to ignite the healing within. And if you don't have smudge at home, relatives, that is okay. We'll send some cleansing, healing, and positive energy your way. It is a new day. It's another sunrise, a different phase of the moon. It's our opportunity to start again, decide where we're at, move forward in a way that's healing and in a way that serves our needs and our highest good. So welcome, everyone. It's another sunrise, everyone. Look at who I have here behind me. Right behind me. I got my little kitten. Aloha kakahiaka. My name is Malia, and I'm a community healer at the HIR Wellness Institute. We are a nonprofit organization that focuses on the mental health and wellness of our relatives of Turtle Island, as well as other Indigenous and underserved communities, and also victims of crime. You can join us here every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m., where we will always breathe, stretch, explore ways of integrating self-care and wellness into our daily lives. And we will always honor our cultural traditions, our customs, our ancestry, our strength, and our resilience. So thank you so much for joining us this morning, relatives. I'd like to take a moment to recognize all of you, as well as our HIR Wellness Institute team members who are here with us. To our relatives, I want to say we're so happy that you're here this morning with us. Whether you're new to these videos or you've been here from the start, this is a safe place for you to comment, to ask questions, to share your own insight, knowledge, or cultural wisdom. You are welcome here to just be you. Come as you are. Talk about what you need to. We'll always take a moment to reflect on what it is we need for the day and how we're feeling. For our HIR Wellness Institute team members, we do have Claudia Meyer-Smith, our occupational therapist, with us. Good morning, Claudia. How are you doing today? So glad you're here with us as always. And we also have our HIR Wellness intern, our HIR Wellness social work intern, Mariah Jensen. Claudia, Mariah, and I, we're all here with our different gifts and talents to serve our relatives, to be here to support you as we practice what our founder and CEO has coined and developed as community-activated medicine. Community-activated medicine means that the people are the medicine. That means when we need to lean into others, others are right there waiting for us. And the same as when others need to lean into us. And if community-activated medicine means that the people are the medicine, that means we have within our own hearts, our own minds, our own bodies, and our own spirits to do our own part of our healing. The healing does and can come from within us. It's not complicated. We can do our part. And what's interesting is on our healing journey, a lot of the times it can be very pleasant, it can be pleasurable, it can be joyful. So how are you doing today, relatives? Let's do a check-in. We always encourage you to check in the comment box to check in, but if you don't want to, that's okay. Everything you do here is completely your choice. You get to decide what it is that your wellness looks like, how you want to go about your wellness. But whether you're going to check in the box or not, let's all take a moment to scan our bodies from head to toe. Are there areas where you're feeling pain or discomfort? Maybe you might be feeling tension. Are there feelings or emotions that are laying heavy in your heart? Or are there thoughts that have been circulating in your mind that maybe kept you up a little bit late at night? And while we take this moment, I'm going to go ahead and prepare my my lemon water, as I try to every morning. I have a glass. I have my filtered water. And half a lemon. Lemon is excellent for the body functions, for regulating the metabolism. It's an excellent cleanser. You start your morning with just lemon or lime or grapefruit. Squeeze it into some filtered water and drink it before you consume anything else in your day, even before you brush your teeth, and then go about your day. It's also really, really good for the skin. And of course, when times like this where we're really worried about viruses and things like that, lemon is really important because it has vitamin C. And if you don't have lemon on hand, almost all fruits and vegetables have a lot of vitamin C. Humans need vitamin C every day. We can't make it on our own like some animals do. So we need to attain it from fresh fruits or vegetables. Tastes very good. No need to add any sugar or sweeteners. It's best just drinking the way it is. Also, relatives, I don't know if you've noticed, I have an assistant. This cat, I adopted her 2 weeks ago. She always needs to be on my shoulder like a parrot. It's hard to get her off sometimes. Looks like she wants to go down. Go ahead, Purdy. Her name's Purdy, so you'll probably see her throughout the video. She tends to just... She's by my side all the time. Alright, so let's take a moment to check in and see how everyone is doing. Claudia says, I'm good today, and good morning, Mariah. Morning. Mariah says, I'm also doing well this morning. Glad to hear, relatives. And if you come on these videos at any time, you're more than welcome to share how you're doing, no matter what time you come in, because it's important to know. We don't necessarily have to know, but it's important for, every day that you wake up to really just take a moment to decide how you feel and what you need, even if you're not feeling okay. Today, I am feeling very tired. It's a good day though, but I feel really tired. I began a workout regimen yesterday, and I woke up for the first time in years and worked out for the first time at 5:15 in the morning, and it was pretty awesome. I actually slept well because of it, and I do know that part of my wellness path and journey right now and for the next month will look like having consistent exercise. Now, COVID, I think, is going on for about 9 months. And because of this, I have gone from a very active lifestyle to a very sedentary lifestyle. And as a result of that, I have put on quite some weight. And the reason that I know for me that weight loss is an important part of my wellness journey is I had a conversation with my doctor. Um, I've also been experiencing pain in my feet when I wake up in the morning and stand up. My feet hurt because of the weight in my body. So for me, that's part of my wellness journey. And it doesn't have to be part of yours. Choose what it is that you want to focus on. Take it day by day, step by step. And for me, one of the other things I've decided to do is for my partner and he and I have decided that for 1 month, we will not be doing fast food or dining out, no carry out. We do both have very demanding work schedules and lives. We both work 2 full-time jobs, or I work a full-time job, 2 full-time jobs. He works a full-time job, goes to school full-time, and also has an additional part-time job. So we're very busy people, and a lot of that is a result of COVID and just getting by. So we tended to sort of just let go of our eating nutritional foods and things like that based on just being busy. So it feels really good to exercise again, and it feels really good to make that pledge to eat from home and cook. It's been a journey, and I'm loving it so far. We're a week into cooking at home, and I'm just a couple days into my exercise routines. So, Matilda, good morning. So good to see you. Matilda says, good morning, Malia and relatives. I'm doing very well today. Was up at 5 a.m. this morning. I went to bed after 10 last night and was awake early. I'm going back up to northern Manitoba to a First Nation community called St. Teresa Point. I'm there until Friday. The best part is I can join you every morning except Friday. Yes, awesome, Matilda. That sounds so exciting. Thank you for sharing. That's wonderful to hear. And I look forward to seeing you the next few days. Matilda says exercise is part of my regimen as well. I also do a lot of walking. I try to live holistically. Awesome, Matilda. Thank you for sharing. Yes, relatives, exercise for a lot of us is one of those very concrete and forward ways that we can practice wellness and self-care. I found that when I don't exercise, I tend to, I don't know, I get very tired. I'll tend to eat more, and I'm not as relaxed. So if it's been a minute since you've exercised, it's never too late. It's always a good time. Always a good option. So always feel free to check in, relatives. Even if you're joining these videos now, let us know how you're doing. We can honor that and reflect on it and decide how we're going to move forward with our day. So I have a question for your relatives. Share with us what you have in mind for your self-care, for your wellness today. It could be something as simple as taking some deep breaths, or just being here on these videos. Maybe it's calling someone to check in and let them know how you're doing. Could be exercise, could be scheduling a doctor's or dental appointment. Might be outside being in nature. Could be a nap. The options are limitless, and let us know so we can celebrate that and reflect on that. And while you're taking a moment to think about what it is you're going to do today, I want to talk to our relatives out there who aren't okay. Relatives, if you're not doing okay today, I will always be here to remind you every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. that it's okay not to be okay. This is part of the ebb and flow of our path and journey of life, which is synchronous with our path and journey of self-care and wellness. Some days we are not okay. And with what's been happening this year, sometimes it's more than a day. It can be weeks. Might even be months. And even it might be this whole year. but we'll get through it together. We are resilient. We are strong. I know that you're resilient because of the fact that you're here right now is a testament to the strength and resilience of your parents, your grandparents, and all your ancestors before you. And if you're not doing okay, there's things that we can do. If you're not doing all right, do reach out to someone that you can talk to. Maybe it's a friend or a family member. It might even be a coworker that you trust. And you can also call our Cares Warm line. It's open every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can call or you can text, and within 24 hours, you'll be connected to one of our Cares Warm counselors. I know each and every one of them personally. They're all amazing people. I love them all, truly. And they're passionate about walking alongside you on your path and journey of self-care and wellness. You can talk to them about what's on your mind. Maybe you're feeling sad or anxious or angry. Or you might not even know what exactly it is that you feel, but you know you feel some sort of way and you need to talk it out. Our Cares Warm counselors can provide you with emotional support, judgment-free, stigma-free. We understand here at the HIR Wellness Institute that sometimes our strength and resilience means being able to lean into others when we need to. And not only can they provide you with emotional support, but they can also connect you to resources that may be helpful to you. There's organizations out there, relatives. There's phone numbers you can call. There's places to go when you're in need. And we want to be able to connect you to that. You deserve it. You deserve healing when you need it. You deserve help when you need it. And all of our services are completely free. That's the way our founder, Leah Denny, wanted it. It will never cost you a penny for healing here. And we will never ask you for an insurance card. It doesn't matter to us if you have one or not. We don't ever need to see it. All you need to do to walk this path and journey of mental health and wellness and self-care, all you need is that desire to travel that path. Whether you're walking it or crawling it, or you might even just be sitting on that path reflecting. And it's okay wherever you are. It's okay. We all need help sometimes. And if I weren't part of the HIR Wellness Institute, I would be a person going to the HIR Wellness Institute to get some healing. It's important, relatives. You're important. It's okay. So when we're not doing okay, you can talk to someone. But there's even more things we can do if we're not doing okay. And the beauty is you get to choose. Matilda says, COVID reminds me of being in residential school. The physical separation and the isolation from parents and relatives. It appears now everyone is experiencing what we went through in the boarding schools. Matilda, thank you for sharing, and that's very, very profound. I cannot imagine what the boarding schools were like, Matilda. But to hear you say that sounds very, very, wow. Very real. And I know, relatives, a lot of us are feeling isolated. That's why we're here, so we can be together in some way. And did you know the HIR Wellness Institute also offers support groups, private ones on Zoom, so that you can dig deeper? We can focus on healing that's a little bit more personalized. So if you want to reach out to our main line, Mariah, can you please post our main line phone number and contact info on this on our thread here? You can let them know what you're feeling, and they can help guide you, because we're at the end of the year and we have all sorts of programs that are coming up. Matter of fact, this month, it's December 1st, we have a new support group that's facilitated by Diane Little. Diane's a doctor. She's also Native. She's also a shaman and a healer. She's also a counselor. She's doing a support group that starts this month called Dance with Anger. And if anger is one of those things, it's one of your trauma responses, it's one of those things that you battle with every day, it's one of those demons that you're facing and fighting, then please do call the the HIR Wellness Institute main line, and let them know that you want information about the Dance with Anger, our support group that begins this month. That's just one of many. In January, we have our Elders Book Club. Matilda, if you're available, we would be honored if on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. you would be willing to join our Elders Book Club. The books are outstanding and uplifting. Everything happens virtually via Zoom from the safety of your home. So let us know. Claudia says, I've been doing a yoga pose for my legs, planking and stretching my back. Been a few weeks and my mobility is better. That is awesome, Claudia. I didn't know you did yoga. I'm so excited to hear that. I've been myself thinking about getting into yoga. I never really have. I've always been a hula, always danced hula my whole life, but yoga's been piquing my interest lately. Better mobility with yoga, relatives. That's a beautiful way to practice self-care. Mariah says, I too pledge to myself that I will start eating better and working out. That is awesome, Mariah. Yes. The food makes so much of a difference. I've noticed since we've been eating from home for the last week, I do have more energy. I sleep better. This might be too much information, but I smell better. So when you eat fast food, there's a lot of chemicals in there. There's a lot of preservatives. There's a lot of icky things. I've noticed that my partner, when he eats fast food, he actually snores. When he doesn't eat fast food, he does not snore. He's quiet, silent. So that's interesting. We were talking about that last night before he fell asleep. Claudia says, and now remember, Claudia is our occupational therapist, that movement helps to support how we alert and how focused we feel. COVID has encouraged a downward spiral by reducing the movement opportunities we usually have and the freedom to move. It really takes conscious thought right now to remain connected to mind, body, and spirit. Thank you, Claudia. Yes, I've been feeling it. A lot less movement. So relatives, if you need to throughout the day, get up and stretch. Move around. Shrug those shoulders. Roll those shoulders. Stretch the arms, the fingers, the toes. Take some deep breaths. Mariah posted our main line if you do want to give a call if you're curious about or interested in enrolling in the Dance with Anger program that begins this month. It's a virtual support group. It happens via Zoom with Diane Little, one of our counselors. She's a doctor, a shaman. She's a Reiki master. She is amazing. There's so much about her that's incredible. and she will be facilitating a dance with anger. Our HIR Wellness Institute address, relatives, if you're curious, we are located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at 3136 West Kilbourne Avenue. Our offices are currently closed right now for your safety, but everything we do is virtual or by phone. So do feel free to reach out if you need some support. Our relatives, so we've been doing a couple of things. This week we've been focusing on a new breathing technique. I like to introduce one every week. I decided that since we're going into November, I think we should kick off this week with star breathing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna breathe in through the nose, and we're gonna exhale through the mouth. And as we do this, we're gonna trace a star. So when we make that first point of the star, we're gonna inhale. When we get to the point on top, we're gonna exhale, and we'll slowly stall the breath. And when we go up again, we're gonna inhale, exhale as we go across. And when we complete that last point of the star, we'll continue the breath. So deep breathing slows down a racing mind, slows down the heart. It brings us to our center, and it helps to ground us. Deep breathing is a very powerful tool for relaxation, for connecting to spirit. We have overactive minds, and when we're able to slow down our mind, and in that stillness, we connect to the heart. The heart has a language, but the language is not words. The language is emotion and feeling. And when we are centered in the heart, when we are grounded that way, it allows us to become present of our spirit, which is always there with us at all times. It's inherently a part of who we are. The heart language is the language of the spirit. And when we connect more to that part of ourselves, we connect more to our wellness. We connect more to peace. We connect more to gratitude. And these are very positive things that help us grow in light. It's innately healing to be in the presence of spirit, because sometimes we forget because our minds are so busy. So let's connect that way and deep breathe. You can sit, lay, or recline however you like, relatives. Closing your eyes is completely optional. And we're going to go ahead, breathe in through the nose, tracing that star. And exhale. Breathe in through the nose. And exhale. Breathe in through the nose. Let's make that star one more time. Exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in through the nose. And exhale. Continue to deep breathe. As we stretch now, we're going to go ahead and focus on areas. This week, I want you to focus on what you need. Are you feeling areas in your neck that have tension? Are you feeling it in your toes and your fingers and your wrists or forearms? I'm going to start by opening my arms up, and these are just guidelines. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to stretch my arms back, and I'm going to give myself a big hug. This is going to stretch my upper back muscles. Deep inhale, opening up, and other side, crossing the arms the other way. All right, now I'm going to take my shoulder blades, I'm going to squeeze them back, touching the shoulder blades, squeeze back and hold, squeeze back and hold. I'm really focusing on my upper back here now, relatives. Squeeze back and hold. Let's do 4 more, squeeze and hold. 3 more, squeeze those shoulder blades and hold them. 2 more. This is good if you're spending a lot of time at a computer or at the TV or your tablet or cell phone. We tend to sort of develop this hunch. We're going to focus on getting rid of that. And last one, we're going to squeeze those shoulder blades together. All right, let's clasp those fingers together. Inhale. Exhale as we push the palms out and up towards the ceiling. Now we're stretching this whole side of our bodies, side to center, other side. Elongating the arms, stretching the arms. All right, and let's hit that tricep. Pushing down on the opposite elbow. Other side. All right. I'm going to finish with the next stretch, looking from side to center. And then I'm going to roll my chin from shoulder to shoulder, but keep that chin in the front. Nice and gentle here, relatives. And we'll finish by looking down gently towards our lap and up towards the ceiling. How'd that feel, relatives? Nice gentle stretch there. Stretch throughout the day whenever you need it. Those are great, easy, real-time things you can do to practice self-care. All right, let's go ahead and take a look to the comments here. Matilda says, very interesting on Claudia's comments about stretching and how we can connect to our body this way. It makes sense to me now because I've always been active, starting as a youth, continued till now. My late grandfather was a huge role model who was always active. Thanks for sharing, Matilda. Yes, activity. Beautiful way to practice self-care and wellness, relatives. Thank you so much, Matilda. All right, relatives, before we go, there's two things. I do want to share the lunar phase we're in. The reason I share the lunar phase of my ancestral teachings every time we meet is because I strongly believe that culture is medicine. It's never too late to start learning about and exploring your culture if you didn't grow up knowing it or immersed in it. It's okay. You can always start. Culture for me has been life-saving. I grew up immersed in hula, immersed in Hawaiian culture, and it truly has saved my life at times where I felt like I couldn't go on anymore. I could connect to spirit through dancing. I could connect to spirit through chanting in Hawaiian language. So that's why I share the lunar phase with you every day. Now, this is just my perspective of my ancestral teachings. I want you to know that no matter what color of the rainbow you are, what tribe, chiefdom, or civilization you hail from, no matter what geographic location you are from, it is okay. It is all welcome here, and we celebrate you and who you are, the uniqueness of who you are and where you come from. So the lunar phase that we're in today, according to Keala Okamahina, or the Native Hawaiian Path of the Moon, is La'au Ku Kahi. And La'au means healing things or medicinal things. Ku Kahi Kahi means one, so it's the first night of Ku. Ku is one of our four major Hawaiian gods, a god of perseverance, a god of striving for excellence, a god of discipline, a god of sacrificing for the greater good. So today, tomorrow, and the next day, so Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this week, we are in those medicine moons, those La'au moons. It's good fishing for the next couple days. It is appropriate to plant certain trees, even banana trees and breadfruit trees if you're in the Pacific or in tropical regions. I am not, many of us are not. But if you are, then you know. So when we're talking about the medicine moons, this is a good time to focus on what is good medicine for you. What do you need, relatives? What do you need to serve what it is that you want? What are some medicines that we can bring into our days? Things like our citrus water in the mornings. Things like our beautiful teas. Every tea has a purpose. Every tea has a handful of constituents that make up this medicine. What are some things that you can eat for healing? Perhaps it's time to focus more on vegetables or fruits. Maybe you've been eating a lot of indulgent foods and now you want to cleanse. When we are in those La'au moons, we are in the medicine moons. Let those gifts in nature, our plant relatives, help to heal us. When we are in the cool moons, which we are in the cool moons, allow yourself to strive and sacrifice a little bit more for that greater good, for your well-being. An example of this might be, you know, maybe you're really craving donuts. And this is random. But before you eat that donut, you stop and you think about it. You take some deep breaths. You maybe eat an apple. Wait, see how you feel. And then instead of eating, you know, 2 donuts, maybe you share 1 donut with a family member. These are what the cool moons are about. They're about making tangible physical efforts that may be a little bit harder than, say, sometimes taking a nap is a good it's a good wellness action. It's a good action of self-care. But when we're in those cool moons, we can do something that takes more effort. Matilda says, Miigwech for sharing your cultural teachings. You look so happy when you talk about your culture. Thanks, Matilda. Yes, I totally am. Culture is medicine, and for me, it's one of the strongest ways to connect to spirit. All right, relatives, before we go, I want to share a positive affirmation with you. Today, I looked up positive affirmations for peace and unity. Now, the reason this came to mind last night, I want to say something. I want you guys to take a deep breath. Last night, one of my neighbors in my village was stabbed in her backyard. Or not last night. Yeah, night before last night. I found out last night. And we've been hearing police sirens going off a lot. A lot. And I just feel like right now with the full moons and you know, us being sort of locked into our houses for a long time, people are feeling a lot of unrest and a lot of anxiety. And I think that peace is something that we do need to focus on. So today, my affirmation, there's 2 of them. First one is I shine the light of divine wisdom from within to guide my every step. I shine the light of divine wisdom from within to guide my every step. That's why we deep breathe, so that we can connect to spirit, we can let the mind stop. Worry comes from the mind. When we deep breathe, we can connect to the heart. We are able more to access the divine wisdom because, to me, in my personal belief, divine wisdom does not involve language. It involves the heart language, the emotions. So when we go to deep breathing, that allows us to connect to divine wisdom. And it can give us a more truthful way to act for our next step. If we act out of a place of fear and worry and anxiety, it clouds our judgment. It puts boulders in our path and journey of wellness and self-care and mental health. But when we connect to breath, deep breathing, when we connect to spirit, we can connect to our heart. And those steps guide us differently. The path becomes a little bit more clear. Because there is when we get to walk and lead in a place of love, in a place of self-compassion, in a place of empathy. And here's our last affirmation for today. And feel free to repeat it after me or out loud or even quietly. You can just say it inside here. I bless the world with thoughts of unity and harmony. I bless the world with thoughts of unity and harmony. And Indigenous people, we were brought up, our traditional ways teach us that what's good for one is good for all. Actually, let me say that what's good for all is good for one too. We are all interconnected. And when we think of a way that's all loving, that's all unifying, in a way that we're harmonious with each other and we can see each other as people and relatives and not as objects, that's a way of unity and harmony. And we can practice that immediately through actions of compassion, through actions of love. Matilda says today is 4 months I haven't eaten potato chips. Wow, Matilda, that is great. How do you do that? I love potato chips. They're my favorite. They're one of my favorites. Matilda says prayers for your neighbors. Yeah, thanks, Matilda. Right now, we do need some more love. We do need more unity. We do need healing on a national level, on a grand level, on a global level. And don't let it overwhelm your relatives. I'll say this, that every act of self-love and self-care, every act of nurturing yourself, every act of kindness towards yourself, every time you take a deep breath or you eat something nutritious, or you allow yourself to honor who you are and the resilience that you are, that is what heals. We can break the cycle that we're in right now, the cycle of mistrust, the cycle of divisiveness, and it starts with the way that we treat ourselves. We can be kind to ourselves, loving to ourselves, and with that kindness can also positively affect our neighbors as well. Because hurt people, as one of our counselors says at the HIR Wellness Institute, hurt people hurt people. When people are hurting, they're in a threat response. They often respond to hurt other people. So when we begin to heal ourselves, we can find that inner peace. We can focus on what we need. And when we take care of ourselves, ultimately, that heals others around us too, because when we heal ourselves, we can set an example for those around us, and we can also be there more fully for people when they need to lean into us. Matilda says, the honor of one is the honor of all. The pain of one is the pain of all. And that was written by Elder Don Koyas. And with those beautiful words, Matilda, thank you so much. I want to say mahalo nui loa. Thank you so much to all of our relatives out there as we practice community activated medicine today. As we lean into each other for healing, the people are the medicine. Malama pono I kokino, take good, righteous care of your body, your mind, your heart, and your spirit. Aloha nui, huge love to you all of their relatives. Before we go, there is a community survey linked to this video. It's completely anonymous and asks just a few questions. That's how we keep our services completely free. And that's also how we know how best to serve you relatives. Ahui ho akuno. We'll see you all later. Hope to see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. And aloha.